Hello once again, and thank you for tuning in to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into this week's episode, this is the third week in a row, John. I was about to say, of course, a shout out to our sponsors, but we still have no idea. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we don't even know if this podcast is gonna continue after 9/6. So we might go on another hiatus. You know what I mean? Like. I will say this, our kind of joking ploy that if anyone wants to send a privatized sponsorship to the AIW PayPal, actually worked out a little bit. We got a few private investors for. I assure you, we are open. New investor, new mysterious benefactor, Paul Greer. Very generous donation. A donation that this may this may get the competitive juices flowing. A donation that puts the Goldstein brothers to shame.
Oh my!
Who are our other mysterious benefactors for the September 6th event as of this recording? Yeah, we have 3 in total so far, 2 of which are the Goldsteins, and one Mr. Paul Greer, who I will say, I'm not giving numbers out, but I will say Paul Greer donated himself what both the Goldsteins sent in combined. So, yeah, I mean that's where we're at. It's a whole new world. So. I didn't think anybody was going to send anything, so thank you very much to you 3 individuals.
John Thorne, you know the greatest country in the world, right?
America.
Donation.
What?
I was once on a family vacation in New York City, standing outside the Waldorf Astoria with my brothers smoking cigars. And this guy who was a Sammy Davis Jr. impersonator came walking down the street, singing, and it was trying to hit us up for money, and I'm 20 years old or whatever, and he said, "You all know the greatest country in the world, right?" And we said the same thing, America. He said, "Donation." Oh. And he said, "You know the greatest."
That's like a really superior dad joke.
Yeah, and then he said, "Greatest city in the world."
Oh.
Generosity.
Oh boy. That guy had them all, huh?
Yeah, he did, and he could be Sammy Davis Jr. So how about that?
Yeah. So I mean, that's where we're at. I didn't expect anyone to send anything in. So.
Well, then I guess we'll do it like this. Thanks for tuning in to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get this week's episode started, of course, a shout out to our sponsors that help us bring the show to you for free each and every week: Sam and Josh Goldstein and Paul Greer.
Yes, the official sponsors that we are currently aware of at this moment.
But, as always, thanks to Angelo's Pizza, they are open, and they have supported us for years now. So they are in as trying times as we are. They are a much bigger operation than we are, so it is important that... Did you see? I did share on the AW Facebook. The dining room is open again. I did see that.
That's why I shared it, because we were so confused about it.
The dining room is open, socially distant, of course. You can also get takeout and delivery. Check out Angelo's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. What do we know about Pollyanna DIY? Is the man going to make us some enamel pins?
Nothing in the works right now. I do have some of those. Wing tribute logos that are still, with all the merchandise or whatever. That's the last pin that we got made, but nothing special for September 6th as of this recording. I've just been kind of all over the place trying to figure other things out, and we got enough pins to enough of those Wing tribute logo pins to sell still, so I'll try to get rid of those first before I bother Pollyanna DIY again.
Well, I tell all of you to support and go buy things from Pollyanna DIY, but I don't know what he's selling anymore these days, if much of anything, or if he's trying to do anything. So
send him a message. Have him,
find out. Yeah.
Ask him what you can buy from him.
The one sponsor we do know about that still currently exists and will be with us on September 6th we assure you we're still open, is Smart Mark Video, and of course their partnership with IWTV, independentwrestling.tv. Download the app, sign up using the code ABSOLUTE, and get a 5-day free trial before you pay for your subscription, so you can watch all sorts of shows, not just from AIW, but so many different independent wrestling promotions as well. And of course, smartmarkvideo.com now has every AIW show in existence on video in their library, so you can purchase them all there. And the challenge was late last week for somebody to buy the whole box set. We'll see.
Not yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
So, as always, obviously, John Thorne is here, the AIW owner. My name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts. And, a hodgepodge of things to chat with you guys about.
I mean, we almost didn't get this done this week. It's late. It's late in the game. It's 8 p.m. Sunday night right now. We're recording this, and I'll still have to edit it when we're done. It's been it's strange to try to have this deadline again in my life.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. That's for sure. And I mean, I kind of forgot about it this week as well, but I had my own personal things going. Had to get a new vehicle, and
I saw that you're balling out on a brand new car. What happened?
It just got to the point during these times.
You got a secret stash of money somewhere in that house over there, or what?
So,
you got a safe over there?
I came into some money from my grandmother passing away.
Oh.
So, but I also got a great deal, and I don't even.
I might be able to. That might be happening to me too. To be honest with you. My great grandmother, I got a letter in the mail.
Oh yeah.
It was just like, you're an heir to, whatever. I had to sign all these forms, but like, there's a lot of heirs. There were a lot of heirs on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My great grandmother had a lot of kids, and then, there's grandchildren, and so I don't know. I might be getting some money. I might be getting some money. I might not be getting any money. But I didn't expect that I would be getting anything, because it's my great grandmother.
Yeah.
And I think she made it to like 106 or something like that. So,
wow.
A couple people on that list are no longer with us. So, maybe, I don't know what my lump sum is going to look like, but I'm waiting for that. But so you came into some money. I just, I was off the grid for like a week, and I just saw your posing in front of this new car, and I said, where the fuck did he get that kind of money?
Well, so the thing is, I kept my car in good shape, but I was starting to, it was, trying to think how old it is, 8 years old, high mileage, 120 some thousand miles, and it was just the money I was starting to put in mechanically. It came to that point where it's like, all right, man, I can make a monthly payment less than what I'm now putting into this vehicle. So I had to make that decision. I got a good amount of money on the trade-in. I had some friends in the car game, that were never referees, just for the record. And
I'm making a no more potato talk ban on all AIW platforms. Discord. I don't care if you paid $5. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
I wasn't gonna say the name. I just
I'll say it. I don't care.
I knew in saying that somebody listening to this would be like, "Oh, was it?" I'm like, no, I got.
I look at the Discord, and it's just like
too much.
It's too much potato talk in there. Too much potato talk. So, I'm putting a ban on the potato talk.
So, good trade, and had a little bit of extra money to be able to put down, and some money so that I don't have to make a payment till October, John Thorne, middle of October. So,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our new podcast, Living Wills, Inheritance, and Car Talk. coming to you each and every Monday.
It's not fully paid off, but I felt because I'm getting the money, I'll be okay in paying for it as I still navigate these COVID waters.
So here's my problem. Like, I never want to own anything really because I will never get out of that like mode of when AIW was really struggling. So like I'm always like I can't buy anything, you know what I mean? Like I have to rent where I live, and like my car I didn't buy brand new, I got it used. But here's my thing is like now, like, I'm making like the most money at my real job like that I've ever made, which isn't even that impressive, to be perfectly honest with you. But for me, I'm doing okay. And I lived here long enough. They just knocked Mr. Whiskers' fee off my monthly rent here.
There you go.
I hit the cap. I had to pay an extra $50 a month for Mr. Whiskers, and they said I hit the cap. So I got an extra $50. Every month now. So I'm like, man, I would really like a new car, but I just got that brand new free engine in it.
Oh,
so even though my car has 100,000 miles on it, the engine has like 2,000. Speak of the devil, Mr. Whiskers.
Yeah, Mr. Whiskers.
So that's my dilemma, because it's like, man, I would really like to just get like, like a nice SUV or something, like something I could drive in the winter. And, but like, I just can't bring myself to do it, because it's like, I know that this new engine will last me another 10 years.
You could put another 100,000 on that engine.
Right. So I'm like,
and your car, body wise, your car is in good shape.
Yeah. So I'm like, and then I don't know. And it's just like, I don't know what I would get on a trade-in on it. And
I'll tell you what, I bet you get more than what I did, because there are other elements mechanically to your vehicle that you may start to have some issues with.
Right.
There's the whole brake system, and there's water pumps. There's so much going on there, but because of the fact that you have that new engine, man, you could get like $5,000 maybe on a trade-in. Mine.
I don't know. People out there listening, what do you think? What do you think I should do? Keep the free engine car. And I also during COVID, I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the podcasts. I hit the payoff on the car, so I own it outright. I got no more payments.
Yeah.
I got no more payments either. So that's the other dilemma.
Mine. Listen. There are great.
That's why I'm kind of flush with personal cash, because I'm up on the car payment, and I no longer have to pay rent for my cat. So.
Yeah. I didn't have a car payment for a year, and it felt great, but I started shelling out too much to get some repairs and things. I'm like, I don't want to keep doing this. And there are great deals on cars right now. I'll tell you that, because nobody was buying anything at the height of the pandemic. And so there are a lot of cars sitting on lots. And that's what happened to me. I was going for a used vehicle, but I was able to get a brand new one because they have so many of them. They need to be able to get rid of them. It was just as much as I got a 2020, and it was just as much as getting a used 2017 that they had out, which had a little bit more bells and whistles, but I was like, I don't need those for the same price. I'm gonna get a brand new vehicle.
I might be waiting for that new Bronco to hit next year,
Dude,
OJ style.
Listen, if I could have held out for that Bronco and afforded it, I would have. I'm a big fan of the Bronco.
All right, let's get off the cars and the dead grandmothers.
Well, you did drive your car this weekend. You did get to put it to use because you made your way to Black Label Pro.
Yeah, what no offense to Mikey, but what a dumb decision this was for me, because, I had a busy week. I shot out to Myrtle Beach for a couple days. Had a little short vacay for myself.
Yeah, you got a nice
little relax. There was a family trip that I kind of jumped in on last minute. And then, Mikey Blanton of Black Label, he just kept saying, oh, man, I need you to come help. I need, can you come help? He was running 3 shows on Saturday. And I was just like, I tell you, I got home Friday night, And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go. But you get off the flight and you're just like, I don't want to jump in a car for 5 hours. You know what I mean? At 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I looked it up and I was like, I'll have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I took a melatonin and I set my alarm and I woke up and I was like, I don't know about making this drive alone. You know what I mean? And like, I just sat there and like, by the time you're sitting there thinking about it, now I'm awake. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going.
Yeah.
So I hopped in the shower and I hit the road. But I tell you, I forgot what those long wrestling road trips are like. And it is tough when you are totally alone. And the sun is coming up like, I was like, I felt like I was like hallucinating. I was like, I haven't driven like a distance over an hour in I don't know how long. And man, that was a tough like those first 3 hours. I was like dipping a napkin in water and like rubbing it on my eyeballs. Like I was just like doing anything that I could to try to stay awake. But I made it. I made it to Black Label Pro.
My secret to making the long drives and staying alert and awake is sunflower seeds. I keep busy chewing on those. I get a bag of the good old jumbo original seeds there, and man, I snack on those, and I'm going.
I was like putting on like I bought Amazon Music on the way. Like I was like putting on weird albums. Like I don't know. I was just trying to keep myself entertained because when I agreed to do it, I thought that I would hop in with the Cleveland contingent of guys that were going out there, but they left Friday, like hours before I got back into town, because they wanted to get there and sleep because call time was 10 a.m. for them and they had to wrestle. So, that, and then I didn't want to bring somebody extra with me because COVID-19 and
sure.
Obviously he doesn't want extra people just bopping around in there.
Yes, Mikey did put that tweet out. Yeah.
So I made it. I did it on my own, and it was. I really the deciding factor on why I wanted to go is like I needed to get that switch flipped back in my brain to get back in show mode. And kind of like, I don't know, it's like, and this is no offense to Black Label Pro, but it was like a preseason game for me, you know what I mean? To like get to get my bearings about myself a little bit before, I got to be the guy, in charge and coordinating everything. And so, in that aspect, I think it was a really good move to get out there and go. But man, it was a long day.
And while because you mentioned that, as we're sitting here, we did throw out into the AIW Discord to give us some questions, which, by the way, you can be a part of the AIW Discord for $5 via Patreon. And now that there is the new rule laid down here by John Thorne of no potato talk, so it will be more alluring to you maybe. But it was asked, John, since you got to sit through 3 shows yesterday, did you take away anything on how to run shows dealing with the pandemic?
It was a lot of it is what we have already discussed and put out there is like what our protocols are going to be. It was interesting to just see it in action, you know what I mean? And like,
sure,
see how it's done and, kind of apply that to our team of people. Because this is the thing that I think sets AIW apart from a lot of places is we don't have just like guys that are like, I'm here to help. We have a whole crew of students that know what their jobs are most of the time and, know the tasks at hand and, know what we have to do to get through the day. And I think that's kind of what sets us apart a little bit is we do have such a infrastructure and you know, through like our little private, you know, group chats, I can kind of lay out like we need to get to here, and here. Like we need to accomplish all these things. So even if I'm not around, Steve, you can go, well, hey, who got this done? Or Dr. Dan can be like, who's on this? And Dom can be like, who's on this? So it's like, it's all laid out in the community. Like, I feel like we have very good communication, especially on a show day, show week sort of thing. So it was just a lot of like seeing that and then kind of envisioning in my head how our crew can execute it. But there wasn't anything that was, you know, that they were doing that I didn't really think of. You know what I mean? Because it's like everyone is doing the same protocols for the most part.
Sure.
You know, like the only thing that he really did is like he like rented tents for the roster for outside, so they can have separate locker rooms outside because they did a show at an indoor building. Which, you know, I thought was a very good idea.
Well, let's talk about our show. There are some more questions in the Discord, but let's shift gears here. I just wanted to ask that one since it was relevant to what you just said.
You know, I will say on Black Label though, like it was so weird that I have not seen a lot of these people for upwards of 6 months at this point. But it did not feel like it's been 6 months. It's like this weird, like, time stands still in wrestling or something. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen Filthy Tom in forever. You know, Trey Lamar. I said, Trey, I don't think I've seen you in 6 or 7 months. I haven't seen you since the Tadmore Shrine. I think that's the last time I saw Trey Lamar. You know, the February show at the Tadmore Shrine. So, you know, and we talked about it last week. The school is open, but I haven't gone to the school yet because I'm trying to keep distance there, you know? So where it's like whoever is running the classes, they're running the classes and they'll let me know how it goes. But, you know, it was so weird that I have not seen so many of these people, which that was also really good too, to just kind of like, you know, feel that camaraderie again, you know, with the, you know, especially the AW guys. And, you know, I got to meet people I never met before. I met the infamous Warhorse for the first time.
Oh, okay.
You know, he was one of the bad kids I tweeted about that was drinking beer after the show behind the building, like a couple of high school kids. You know, it was nice to meet these guys that I had, like some of these guys I haven't met, or you know, some of these guys that I've only met in passing, you know what I mean? Or like a Jake something, or I got to see Kylie Ray again. So, you know, just I saw Robles for the first time in forever, you know, like it was
Robles was in, well, was he in Akron? No, I don't think so. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Robles did Akron because we streamed it. But
that's right.
Yeah, it was you know, it was cool to like, and like I hung out with people that, like I was saying, I didn't really know. You know, I met Warhorse. I hung out with Effie a little bit, you know, and got to know him a little more. You know, I saw Danhausen, all like so many people I saw throughout the day, and like Ben Carter, who did our tryout camp in February. You know, I got to talk to him for a little bit. Alex Shelley was there. There was, I mean, Josh
Page, who you
Ethan Page,
with, but didn't see in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was never mine or Ethan Page's ideas to FaceTime. But you know, I saw Josh Alexander for the first time, and I don't know how long.
Sure, that's probably a couple of years there, right?
Yeah, and it's just, you know, it's strange. It's just like in wrestling, you just see people, and it's just like you never miss the day. And it's just like you know, or like a Warhorse, like we both knew who each other were, and you know, it's not like there's no like weirdness. It's just like, you know, we jump in and we're all of a sudden we're in a conversation about something. You know what I mean? So that was you know, that was really cool to kind of like get over that. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, is this going to be weird or what? You know, because we haven't run this is the longest layoff in AIW history. So I think that was really good to just kind of like be around everybody and kind of like, yeah, like everything feels normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, look, we're still doing this from our own separate homes. We still haven't seen each other since March,
I mean,
I think, and
that's what I'm saying. It's
crazy.
it was so, it was so weird to just be around people again like that, like AJ Gray and all these just like AIW people were there, so it was great. Colin Delaney, it's just so many people.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to people like we've done and consistently. I've had a few Trey Lamar phone calls during this pandemic.
Trey Lamar I don't even have his phone number. To be perfectly honest with you,
Trey Lamar, I will say, that is a good. He's a phone call guy, and he's a good phone call guy. Personally, I love when Trey calls me.
I won't elaborate.
Entertaining.
I will not elaborate, but you will find this funny. When Trey Lamar arrived, there was something instantly that became very apparent that Trey Lamar should have not done. So I said, Trey, I've not seen you in 7 months, and the first thing I have to do is I got to yell at you about something, like. And he's like, man, I just wake up with heat, like it just follows me.
I just wake up with heat.
And I was like, Trey, you think I want? It was like a dad talk. I was like, Trey, you think after not seeing you for 7 months, the first thing I want to do is to tell you what you've done wrong already within 5 minutes of being here?
Man, okay, John Thorne.
Oh man, really? Oh man, I just
you're hating on me, John Thorne.
No, it was no hating. It was just like, man, come on, man. Like, I just can't. He just follows me, man. Like, I just, I can't avoid it. It's just like, you can't avoid it, and this is why I'm explaining to you why you can avoid it. But I will say, canceling out the yelling, Trey Lamar was rocking his brand new AIW tracksuit that was ordered special for the WrestleMania weekend.
There you go.
And so he was repping the brand. So I said, now this is gonna cancel out what we've just talked about because you're representing. You're a walking billboard right now. So,
I've had some debate on this, John Thorne. You let me know. I was thinking about maybe just wearing my tracksuit to ring announce in.
Oh no, you gotta go full.
I gotta gear up. Okay, all right.
You gotta gear up, man.
All right.
You think wrestlers aren't gonna wear their gear? You think they're gonna wrestle in a tracksuit?
Well, yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Which, speaking of, we assure you we're still open, or I assure you we're open. We've still got a couple sets of second.
We still got
seats.
A couple of those second row groups of 2 available. I would really love to sell those this week so we can just be done with it, and because if we don't sell them, that second row is going to look weird, with 100 people in the standing room GA,
Yeah.
I would really like to sell those. I think it's like 4 groups of 2 are left or something like that.
And so while you wouldn't necessarily be next to each other, if you have a group of 4 of you that want to go, get 2 of them. If the 4-packs are sold out, we're telling you right now, you can get 2 of the 2-packs. You can all still go together, sit relatively close. There'll be a 6-foot distance between the sets of 2, of course, but that's worthwhile. You could do it that way as well, or
listen,
do us a favor, buy one and bring a friend.
They're chairs. If you're buying 2 sets of 2, but you really want to be a group of 4, I'm sure you can move. We can move the 2 chairs together. Probably, I would imagine.
It's just coming up with ideas to throw at you guys, but it's shaping up to be a good show. Announced a couple more matches.
Yes, and if you have not seen last week, the streaming deal has been made official. We will be on Fight TV. You can buy just the AIW pay-per-view. I believe it is $12.99, or you can buy a combo pay-per-view package of AIW and GCW for $19.99.
There you go.
So we're both knocking a couple dollars off to get to that $19.99 price point. And we're hoping, GCW and us, of course, we're hoping that $19.99 price point is going to encourage a lot of people to buy these packages. That's what I'm hoping for. Obviously, even though we up ticket prices a little bit and we're selling tickets, there's a limit on the tickets that we're selling. So a lot of this being a success is really banking on the fight buys.
Yeah, and look, a couple great matches to buy to get your curiosity piqued already. Levi Everett and Swoggle, one-on-one, some singles action there.
I mean, I don't know why I thought of this in my brain, but
this is what I like to call the AIW Freak Show match. We're always good for at least one.
Yeah, I don't know. This one has been bopping around in my head for a while. It almost made it on one of the last shows, either the December or the February Odeon show. It was definitely kind of like floating around in my, just in my head, and finally I was like, I guess I'll pull the trigger on it. No better place to do it than the first show back and make that the first match we announce. So yeah, I don't know that there's, it's just one of those things that I just kept going, man, I really think people want to see this for some reason, and it got a lot of good reaction when we announced it. So hopefully I'm right.
The other match that has been announced, Ethan Page is upset with the graphic. It was announced as Ethan Page versus Tom Lawler, but All Ego seems to think that it's supposed to be something else.
The Karate Man. The Karate Man. He's informed me that the Karate Man wants to fight the MMA Man, and there's probably going to be some videos coming out soon to explain that. I don't know. This is another thing. He took these fucking weird karate pictures. I don't know what he's doing, but this is how I book things, folks.
Well, he's got that new physique, so he's ready to show off even more, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
how big can the ego of a guy named All Ego become?
He's doing a whole new character. I told him, we'll get an updated graphic closer to the show, but because I saw him yesterday at Black Label, but he's the Karate Man's. All Ego's not coming. The Karate Man's coming.
So, buckle up,
I don't know if the Karate Man even has a name. Like, I don't know if it's the Karate Man Ethan Page or if it's just the Karate Man.
The Karate Man, yeah. So, hey, there's a way to find out. Tune in, everybody, buy the fight stream. And
we're really selling this thing today.
See what happens. I mean, what else is there to say? We don't know much about this Karate Man yet. If we have thrown out anything else, I'm trying to remember if we announced any other matches there.
Lee Moriarty versus Eric Stevens.
Yes, Lee Moriarty, Eric Stevens, and this is one that was you planned to do before
WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah,
this was going to be at the Collective.
It was going to be there, and I know we were looking forward to it then. Those guys were looking forward to it. It's a match that they have both wanted, so we'll see how that rolls out. That'll be two different styles again. Lee Moriarty again will be able to showcase, I think, just how far he's come in really a short period of time. I mean, you got to see him at Black Label, right? And
yeah, he had two or three really good matches. Like I said, they did 3 shows. So one show it's a secret, I guess, that you'll learn about at a later date. But yeah, he had some really good matches yesterday. He's really starting to blossom into a very, very good professional wrestler. And the thing that I found interesting also about Black Label is there's a lot of guys that have not been getting consistent reps in as far as wrestling matches. And some people you could see that, and other people it look like, they haven't missed a beat whatsoever. So,
well,
and Lee was one of those guys that has not missed a beat.
To pull back the curtain a little bit, I was told at some point during this pandemic that two young men were working together to get those reps in so that they would be ready for whenever time called. And it was Lee Moriarty working with Trey Lamar to really.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, continue their little
they both
rivalry, and they push each other very well.
They both looked very good, and they had a little thing at Impact last week, which I got to talk to them both about a little bit yesterday, which was pretty cool. To get that kind of opportunity, so young.
Yeah, along with Ben Carter again, and Alex Shelley really taking those guys under his wing.
Yeah,
and looking out.
He's like really championing them. Which is very cool, for a guy of his stature to be, pushing for these guys to, get in places and try to get them looked at by, bigger companies. And, so I got to hear a little bit about that. And, it's very, very cool stuff for those guys. They're, as much as I bust on Trey works very hard. And, he definitely, has really done a 180 for the most part on the things that we've tried to get him to fix over the years. I feel like he's finally kind of maturing quite a bit, and it's finally starting to click for him.
Yeah, you talk about Trey's maturity level, and I think that we sometimes forget, and it's not a knock on him. When we first met Trey Lamar, he's 18 or 19 years old. So it's not one of those things where it's like, come on, mature already. It's like he was a young kid. But it takes some time to grow into it. And there was a lot thrown at him right away. When you look at Trey's young career and Josh Bishop and how much we've thrown at them in such a short time in terms of their age.
Josh Bishop's another one. He's only 22 years old.
Yeah.
These are really young guys. So, it's very, it's kind of crazy because they've been around for so many years, but they're still very relatively young. And like you said, they've been given a lot of opportunities very early on. So, hopefully that kind of helped progress things for them.
Well, speaking of Josh Bishop, that throws us back into the Discord because we asked some folks for questions there. And this wants to be answered. How many times did Josh Bishop bring up the dog collar match backstage yesterday?
At least 13 times. Easily. Like, no exaggeration, 13 times probably.
In his mind, there were 3 shows, so you had a good opportunity to put it in there somewhere.
And he's just so intense even when you talk to him. Like, he's got to be in your face and, like, grabbing your shoulder and, like, shaking you. And, like, he doesn't know his own strength. And it's like, it's painful to even have a conversation with him, and not in, like, an annoying way, in, like, a literal pain. Like, he's like, come on, like, let's do it. He's all, like, amped up.
And he punches you just out of excitement.
Yeah, and he's like,
it's not like a light punch.
He thinks he's giving you, like, yeah, he thinks he's giving you, like, the buddy punch or, like, a little, like friendly shove, but it's like, dude, like, you just pushed me against the wall, man.
You just threw me 10 feet. Relax, dude. Like, yeah, he's something else. Here we go. What's your opinion on doing 2 shows in a day? Is that, similar to what you saw yesterday with 3 shows? But I think the question is, even airing 2 shows in one day, is it something you'd consider doing for AIW in the future?
Well, I mean, we usually do it JLIT weekend with the Saturday afternoon and the night show.
True.
It really there's no plan to do something like that, until we figure out if we can make up the 2020 JLIT dates. But I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I thought that it was very interesting that they got so much content in one day, and they did 2 live streams in one day, and it seemed that people watched both of them. So, I'm definitely not opposed to it. It would have to be the right situation, and I guess we didn't even talk about this. Ohio is kind of trying to get opened up for sporting events at this point. Late last week, they made an announcement that you can do 15% capacity for sporting events, and the Ohio Athletic Commission has kind of said yes, things can happen, but you have to get an approved plan from the county health board, and then you can move forward. But before anyone gets all wound up, if you did 15% of capacity in the Odeon, it is not feasible right now.
Yeah, you're looking at. When we would pack it in there, we have had 500 people in there before. So even if you wanted to consider that 15% of 500 people, you're still looking at under 100 people. Was that 75? I think is that math? 75.
I don't know. I'm bad at math. That's a question for somebody else. But
yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that's what it is. 75. If I try to do that math quick.
So I think we're gonna wait it out still and see how things go. Obviously we have the show in Indianapolis to keep us busy right now. Yeah. There are some rumblings about something happening in October, to be determined at this point. So, I wouldn't expect AIW to be back in the Cleveland area until November, maybe, at the earliest is what I'm thinking. The way things seem to be moving forward at this point, I would think that, knock on wood, if they therapeutics and, whether there's a vaccine or not, I feel that we are in adapt mode rather than shutdown mode in this, pretty much everywhere. Everyone seems to be coming up with a plan to adapt rather than just halt. So I would think by November, maybe the capacities would be upped a little bit and things maybe can be a little bit more under control. So I'm just going to kind of hold off on the Cleveland area until further notice. But I just wanted to update people. Things are kind of moving forward, and it's happening very rapidly,
sure.
Not even through 3 weeks ago, it was like nothing can happen for the rest of the year. And now yes, things can happen with no spectators a week or two ago. And now things can happen with 15% spectators within days. That changed. And they dropped the 72-hour COVID test requirement, which was a big kind of holdup. So, we're going to wait and see how things go. Listen, I don't want to be the first one in Ohio that goes out there and has, the microscope on for everything we do. So,
and just as quickly as they have improved, things can quickly go the other direction again as well. So there's all of that to consider.
Right. So, I will say, because I know people in the Ohio area are getting antsy, and it's like, it seems things are moving forward, but let's just kind of wait it out here a little bit longer and see how things either develop or, kind of, regress. Let's kind of wait and see.
Let me ask you this off that question about multiple shows in a day. Would you take under consideration, because of the uncertainty of things opening and then closing and then maybe kind of opening it back up again, but just to err on the side of caution and, let's say, content, would you do 2 shows and basically kind of like how Black Label did 3 shows and 1 is going to air later. Would you consider doing 2 in a day and having 1 that, okay, a month from now we can put this out?
Yeah, I mean, definitely if things lined up properly, you know what I mean? Like, if anyone that listens to this podcast, like, I am an over planner as far as I assume everything's going to go wrong. So I need to go through all the things that could go wrong and, you know, make sure it's something that is feasible for us to accomplish, but it's definitely not out of the question. Or even doing 2 shows with, you know, 2 different sets of fans or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Black Label did. You know, that's not outside of. I would rather do that than the no fan taping. You know, just there's a different type of energy in the room. You know.
Oh sure.
So I feel that the shows with no fans kind of it can slip the wrestlers up a little bit, you know what I mean? And it's just very you're not getting the same energy level.
Yeah. This comes from one of everybody's favorite Discord members. A Rose wants to know if we can't get back to Ohio anytime soon, as we just touched on. Do we see this kind of partnership right now with GCW continuing?
You know, it's nothing's off the table. I'll say that. Like I said, there's some discussions about something possibly in October. Nothing finalized or ironed out or anything like that. So, you know, obviously, we don't want to have to rely on GCW to host an event, but you know, if the business is right and it makes sense for us to do, and you know, they're okay with it, and you know what I mean, it's like, yeah, there's just kind of like, it can't just be like, hey guys, like, we're along, you know, we're here, we're you know, we're on tour together now.
Well, and the other side of this that GCW is going to run into along with us at the same time, while this 15% thing is happening, but there's still much to be sorted out about it, is we're going to be running into colder weather real soon. You know, we're out of Cleveland, Ohio. GCW is out of Jersey and typically does shows in the northern or northeastern portion of the country and a little bit of the Midwest, obviously, so we're going to be in Indiana, and those outdoor shows are not going to be able to continue. And part of why GCW is doing the outdoor shows is because they can't do indoor shows right now. So,
well, I will say Indiana will allow indoor.
They will allow indoor, yeah.
But you need to find a big building because there is, I think it's like a 25% cap there. So you got to find a big place, and then you can do a decent amount. So, it's always it's ever changing though, you know, like like I was in Myrtle Beach, and you know, people were wearing masks, and you know, but everything in South Carolina was mask recommended, and while most people were wearing masks, it was not a requirement. Now, when I was in Indiana, you know, bars were pretty busy. They looked pretty busy. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
everything, like, it's so weird because it depends on where you're at in the country. You know, it's, you know, how it is for us in Cleveland. It could be different for everybody that lives in Indianapolis, and, you know, so on.
So that's where things stand right now. On this day as we record on Sunday, August 23rd, folks, and we'll see where they go from there, but definitely still, like we said, four more 2-packs available for that second row.
I believe it's 4 more. You know, I sent out more matches to the email list and the Patreon that have been announced, obviously, and a lot more matches will be getting announced this week. So yeah, it's crazy because it's coming up in like 13 days or something like that. So
it's coming fast, folks. And if you want to watch it on Fight TV, those are available for purchase right now. You can do that right now by buying just the AIW show, or you can buy the package which will get you GCW as well for $19.99. So other than that, John Thorne, I mean, anything here as we roll this down? Oh, should we give a belated birthday wish to Dr. Dan?
Happy B-Day, Dr. D. I gave him one on Twitter.
Yeah, he celebrated over the weekend, so happy birthday to Dr. Dan.
He's 48 years old this weekend.
Yeah, how old is his toupee?
Please, somebody bring him a new hairpiece to Indianapolis.
So that's about it. You got anything else to add here?
No, I mean, we had lots of car talk, lots of Last Will and Testament talk.
Car talk is a radio show already.
We've
on NPR.
We hit a vast variety of topics. Hopefully this was entertaining enough. We're still getting back in the swing of things on this podcast. It is, strange times still for us. So
yes. So interact with us, of course, on Twitter, Instagram, everything social media-wise for AIW is at AI Wrestling. So check all of that out and respond to when the show goes up. Hit us in the replies in the comments. Tell us what you thought of Car Talk and everything else about this episode. Maybe you have thoughts on Trey Lamar. We talked about him more than he should have been talked about ever.
Well, we had a couple edits, though, so I don't know. We had a couple technical difficulties on both our ends. So right when we were talking about that goddamn Trey Lamar. So hopefully it just hopefully I edit it tonight and it just flows nice and easy. But we'll see.
The heat really does follow him everywhere. Well, for AIW owner John Thorne, my name's Steve Guy. We'll talk to you guys next week right here on AIW's The Card is Going to Change.